Hello YouTube and welcome to another episode of Behind the Wall presented by Perky Jerky. Yes, we are doing an off-season episode. We're going to talk about some of the biggest stories that happened in the past couple months, talk about some of our predictions for the future in the 2019 season. As always, I'm Thermite917 along with Probo 43 and Kane Jr. 88, who is a bit under the weather, but he's going to pull through like he always does. So let's get underway here and talk first about some of the biggest driver changes that have taken place recently. Yeah, let's just see who's going to fare the best during the season, who might struggle. Let's get into it. Tyler, pick a driver.
Well, I'm just going to go down the list first of all. And, there was a solid amount of them. So, Daniel Suarez moves from the 19 to the 41. Ryan Newman from the 31 to the 6. Matt DiBenedetto from the 32 to the 95. Kurt Busch from the 41 to the 1. Corey LaJoie goes from the 72 to the 32, and then Martin Truex Jr. leaving the now defunct Furniture Row Racing to join the 19 team. Obviously now we have some new Rookie of the Year candidates as well, with Daniel Hemrick in the 8 and Ryan Preece in the 47. So a whole lot of shit happened, and a lot of them are mostly predictable. We've seen every one of these coming, really. Let's just start right from the top of the list. Daniel Suarez. Now, he kind of got ousted from JGR. His time there was less than fruitful. 0 wins. I don't even need to look up the rest of the stats. He didn't get a win, and obviously struggled with his consistency at times. So, now he leaves and goes to the 41, and that team was pretty solid with Kurt Busch, but they were still kind of like in the Eric Almirola range on that team. Like, they just weren't quite top tier. They weren't even as good as the 14 team. And obviously we know Kevin Harvick is the top of the pile there. Still, I think this will be a better opportunity for him to get some wins, and with a team that is coming off an extremely strong season, and I think that they'll continue that into this year, even with the different package.
Kane, you're up.
I'm just going to say, I think the big three are going to continue to be the big three in 2019, and I think Martin Truex Jr. is going to fit pretty well with JGR. He's still going to have Cole Pern for his crew chief. He more than likely will still have Clayton Hughes as his spotter, so everything will still be pretty familiar to him. Really, it's not all that different. I still think he'll be a threat to win the championship.
Yeah, I agree with Truex. He goes from having the Alliance and being that strong to, going right to the source. So I can't even imagine how much better he's going to be. So I think he's definitely still one of the favorites. I do think Kurt Busch is going to have a nice little home at Ganassi because, for a while they've had Larson and then McMurray, who kind of brings everything down, hashtag McWeapon. But I think it just kind of fits Kurt's style a little more. Him and Chip seem to get along. He almost kind of sort of has a similar style to Kyle Larson, and it's just going to be this boost that he needs to keep that momentum going. He has Monster coming with him, and he did have a strong ride at Stewart-Haas, but I think it was time for a change, so hopefully that's a good one for him.
He becomes into just a 2-car operation, and I think it'll thrust some life back into that one team. I think the one will get back to victory lane. It wouldn't surprise me. Kurt Busch is just better than Jamie McMurray, too, so that makes things a little bit easier for them. But another one of our changes is Ryan Newman. Yeah, Newman, he's become rather irrelevant. After sneaking out that win in 2017, he hasn't done a whole lot. Didn't even have a single top 5 in 2018. And granted, RCR was not that competitive, so really not surprising. But he goes from a team that wasn't that competitive to a team that isn't. The 6th team was a dumpster fire for the majority of the year last year. Now, Kansas somehow managed to end the season on a good note with back-to-back top 10s, but I don't think that Ryan Newman's better than Matt Kenseth, so they're not in for much this season. So I don't see Roush turning the program around, and they're just kind of fall into obscurity. Newman's going to turn laps. He might sneak up in the top 10 every once in a while, maybe squeak out a top 5. But that's really seems like it's pushing it for old No-Neck Newman.
The only positive I see with that is he's going back to Ford where he started. They're definitely not what they used to be, but maybe something will click again with all that. But like you said, he's really not gonna elevate the team like a Kenseth would. They're both veterans. They both started around the same time, but I don't know. Kenseth, he knew the team already. He just did his job. But now with Newman being full-time there and everything, I really don't see him being much better than Trevor Bayne, unfortunately.
So that leaves us with 2 remaining driver changes. Let's start with probably the better of the two. Old Matt DiBenedetto going to the
D
95.
Benedetto.
Thank you, King. Going to the 95. And now they have a little bit of a technical alliance with JGR. But from what I've heard about it, it won't be as full on as they were with Furniture Road Racing. This will definitely improve their program over there for the 95 team. But after hearing the news of that, I don't know if they're going to be contending as high as I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, it's better than where he was, obviously, and I think he's a good enough driver. He's showed it when he raced with Gibbs in the Xfinity Series and whatnot. So it's nice that he could get back with Toyota and have that little bit of an alliance. I mean, it was really the best option for him and one of the only options, so I do hope it works out. He's a good driver, good guy. He needs some good luck to finally happen. He's kind of like in the Landon Castle range. They just need to get that big break.
You know, I think they can continue to improve over the next couple of years if he can stay with that team and they can get a little bit, more solid finishes, get a little bit better cash flow, maybe better sponsors. You never know. They could start contending in the top 10 consistently, and it'd be great to see him somehow go to victory lane one of these days. So that leaves one more, Corey LaJoie. Anyways, we have a couple of Rookie of the Year contenders. We got 4. 2 of them that matter, 2 of them that are back markers. Daniel Hemrick, Ryan Preece, Matt Tifft, Tanner Berryhill. So, Danny Hemrick. He moves up after getting a combined win count of 0 in the Truck Series and Xfinity Series to drive full-time in Cup now. Bringing the 8 back with that horrendous number font. What are we looking for Danny's first season of Cup? I think the silence says everything right there.
Yeah. I'm not really expecting much from Hemrick with how bad that RCR and really Chevrolet as a whole have been struggling. I mean, I can totally see him sneaking out a top 5 at someplace unexpected, like maybe the Roval. That's all I have to say about that.
Thank you, Bill. I think like all 4 Rookie of the Year contenders should have stayed in Xfinity for another year. I mean, Ryan Preece had a good thing going with Gibbs, and now he's taking a ride in Cup, which, yeah, it's technically an upgrade because it's a series higher, but it's with JTG. He's not going to be making that team any better, so he's going to get stuck in obscurity, kind of like a Jeb Burton. I hope it doesn't happen. I think he has the talent for sure, but that was really not a choice I would have wanted to see him make.
And that's the same with Matt Tifft, too. He's going to fall into obscurity, just like the one you mentioned.
I was going to say that, too.
So it's just not a terrific choice, really, by, you're right, all of them, especially Tanner Berryhill. But we won't talk much about him. Getting back to that point, it's just, I don't really know what the deal is with having to move up. I guess it's a good thing I'm not them, because I'd rather have success or run decent in the lower series than just move up to Cup and then eventually just fizzle their way out. Especially for like a Matt Tifft, I really don't know how he thinks he's going to get out of that shit box and get into something better. It's just not going to happen unless he's bringing some serious money. And obviously that's the reason why he's getting that ride in the first place, because the sponsor is paying for it. But that don't mean it was good. I don't know.
Yeah. Chase Elliott did it right, staying in Xfinity for a couple of years. Christopher Bell is doing it right. I think he's on a really good path to success in Cup, but I don't know.
Yeah, watch out, Denny!
I mean, Hemrick has a lot of experience, and I really want him to do well, but it's just those stats of just not having a win yet. I don't know. Like, I worry about him being like a William Byron, how he did last year, and just really struggling to get his feet under him by moving up as soon as he did. I wish him all the best, but we'll see. I mean, it's tough out there. Hopefully the one bright spot of the rules package is it does kind of equalize it a little bit, because they sure need it.
So why don't we make a prediction here, our first one. Who's going to win that Rookie of the Year? Kane?
I don't really think it's going to be much of a battle. I am going to say Daniel Hemrick gets it.
Nick?
Yeah, Hemrick for sure on consistency.
You know what? I'll just go ahead and switch it up. I'll take Preece. Really think they're going to be racing around each other a lot. I do think that Hemrick has the upper hand with RCR, and JTG is kind of just like a filler team that is like a semi-alliance, but I've seen JTG cars outrun RCR cars at times, so it just really depends, and the package could throw a real ring into things. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be different.
Good point. Well, now we're going to move into some 2019 predictions based on various drivers and categories. We'll start with The most improved. Who is going to be the most improved driver of the season? Tyler, go first.
Whew, I'm gonna say Kyle Larson. I just don't think that he's gonna go winless again. He's just such a weird case, but I think that'll make it a little bit further in the chase this time. He's got to stop blowing shit at some point, man. Enough's enough. Like, this is his however many years in Cup. Time to start winning a little more consistent. So that's my pick. Kane?
I think I'm going to agree with you on that, because you would think Chevrolet would have done a shitload of work during the off season to try to make the Camaro better, especially with a new rules package and obviously Ford debuting the Mustang this year. You know they're going to want to outrun the competition. So I would say definitely Kyle Larson.
Well, I'm going to go with Eric Almirola. He did pretty good last season, had a shot in the playoffs to do some things, but he bottled it quite a bit. And I think this year he's going to learn from those mistakes and actually capitalize and grab some wins at non-plate tracks. I just think he's ready. He's got the right team, and I just think he's going to build on it, and this is his opportunity, so don't blow it. So now we're going to turn that around and talk about who's going to have the biggest slumps of 2019. So, Tyler, who's your pick for that?
I think I'm going to have to say Clint Boyer. You know, he finally got back to victory lane. They were really solid. I just think something's amiss here. He kind of dipped off a little towards the back half of the season, and you know, he had one really great win at Martinsville, and then he kind of backed his ass into the Michigan one. Certainly happy for him, but I just can't see him repeating the same success, and I think that his teammates may outperform him. Kane, you may go.
I do think Alex Bowman is not going to have as good of a season as he did in 2018. I don't think he's going to make the playoffs. If he does, by some miracle, I don't think he's going to make it out of the round of 16 like he did this last season. And who knows what the hell Hendrick's going to be doing, because it's probably still going to be the same shit as usual with them. So I say Alex Bowman's going to slump pretty bad.
Yeah, I was almost thinking him too, like, not that he would necessarily do worse than last season, but that he would do the same. Like, that wouldn't be good either. He's due to do something because it's just time. Like, he's been here long enough. He's finally got a decent ride. I know the team's not where it should be, but he's got to do something because, I mean, the clock's ticking for him. You know, how long is he going to last without putting up the numbers? But the one I'm going to pick for the biggest slump would be Brad Keselowski, because he won those 3 races in a row last year. Other than that, he really didn't do anything. And now with Logano getting that championship, is Brad going to start falling behind? Or, I mean, it could go the other way and him getting better because Logano won. But I just wonder if Logano's the top dog on that team now. Like, it's just tough to say with Brad because he was really just not that consistent. I think he might be one of those teams where the Ford kind of hurts them with switching to the Mustang. It's just all up in the air. I mean, it could be like a number of these guys with this new package, but I'm going to go with Brad. So next, we'll go with the dark horse of the year, the guy that might be a little bit of a sleeper where you don't expect him to do well, but he's going to break out. So, Tyler, who's your pick for that?
It's a very surprise one, but I'm going to go with Dennis Hamlin. There's a couple of reasons. First of all, he's coming off a winless season, his first in his career. And it's really do or die for Denny. And I think that if he doesn't perform, he's going to end up fizzling his way out. And it might still end up happening with the inevitability of Christopher Bell going to a JGR seat. We know it's coming. It's a matter of when. But if he performs, he could end up keeping a seat or finding something different. Maybe JGR adds another car or something and then slots Christopher in there. You know, he's going to have a little extra incentive there. Not to mention the sad fact that his good buddy JD, you know, he's going to want to win for him. And I think that he definitely gets back to victory lane. I think maybe more than once. So maybe that gives him a lot of extra fuel. And I just think that he will be determined to make something of this year. Because last year just wasn't it. That's it. Next.
Well, I am going to go with Denny's teammate, and that is that Jones boy, Eric Jones. Obviously, as we all know, he finally got that first career win last year at Daytona. So now that he has got that accomplishment out of the way, I think now he's going to take more risks and try to win more races this year and show that he really could be a serious threat for a championship. Nick?
I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney. He's just this quiet guy. He wins a race here and there, every great once in a while, but everyone's saying the future of the sport is right now, so I think it's his turn to step up. Logano won the championship. I think, unlike Brad, that maybe that'll help Blaney. Who knows? He just seems like a really quick learner. He's just kind of biding his time, waiting in the weeds, and I think this is just finally his year to break out and make something happen.
Sounds good. So, that leads to the last and most inevitable prediction of them all. Champion. You're either going to be close, you might get it, or you're going to be really wrong. So, I'll start. Kevin Harvick. 8 wins last year. And they probably should have won the title, but just simply didn't get it done at Homestead. They're just going to be just as good. I don't think that the car change is going to affect them whatsoever. I think they would be maybe even better. They already have a slight one-up with the fact that the one time they did that special package during the All-Star race, I know it's a little bit tweaked, yes, but he still got it done that night. They've just been so good. They got to add another title to their resume. It would seem weird if they don't with all the success that they've had. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. Harvick.
I'm going to regret this decision. I'm going to say Kyle Busch. He is basically in the same boat that Harvick is in, as well as Truex, in that they just did not get the job done at Homestead last year. Obviously, the way the trend is going, Toyota seems to win the championship in odd-numbered seasons, so I say the trend continues. Nick?
I guess I'll believe that too because I'm going to pick Martin Truex Jr. Like we've said before, I mean, he's finally got that monkey off his back. He knows he's secure now. He's with Gibbs. There's no technical alliance. He's right there with them. He's already really good. I'm just looking forward to seeing what he's going to do now because, there's really nothing left to lose. Got everything to gain. He's going to get the championship. Bass Pro, Toyota, whatever. Martin Truex Jr.
Well, now it's time to make some fantasy selections for the first time in 2019. The first race of the year is the Clash at Daytona, but we're not going to call it that. No. Since the series sponsor has to be Monster, we're going to call it the Monster Mash. That's right. As cringy as that sounds, I don't give a shit. That's what we're going with. So it's real simple. If you win for the week, you get 10 bonus points. But if you pick the winner, you'll get an additional 5. So, before the season even starts, you could have 15 points in the bank. We're going to base the order off of the final point standings from 2018. So, our fourth member, the Ghost himself, Damani HD. You're first up on the board. Who are you taking for the MASH?
Fuck you, John Mayer.
Thank you, Damani. Well, Nick, you're familiar with losing. So, what's your first loser pick of the year?
Well, it's kind of weird because I said he was going to have a slump this season, but the Clash is kind of misleading, and the one that wins, you think they're going to do well, and then they kind of struggle after that, so I am going to use that logic and go with Brad Keselowski. And I mean, he is good at plate tracks. He was up front last year. I think that's going to be a nice way to kick off the season for the new Mustang, so Brad's going to do it. Tyler, what's your pick?
Well, I think I'm going to take a swing, and I haven't mentioned him all show, and neither has anybody else. I'm going to take the man, the driver of the blue and white Napa Chevrolet, Chase Elliott.
Hey everybody, this is Chase Elliott. I'm known as a dick slinger out there on the racetrack.
Damn straight. He's going to put it together one of these times at the plate tracks. It's only a matter of time. Finally, after knocking out those wins during the season, I just feel like he's coming into his own. I think you're going to have a good speed weeks. Hendrick typically brings fast cars. So as long as they're not spinning out on their own or getting trapped in the middle of shit or Ricky Stenhouse is anywhere near him, I think he's got a good chance. Kane, who's your pick?
Well, I'm going to go with Chase's buddy, and that is Ryan Blaney. And let me just say, obviously, Penske has won the last 2 clashes or monster mashes or whatever the hell they're going to be called now. The Monster Mash Unlimited. I mean, Joey Logano won it in 2017. Brad won it last year. I think it's Blaney's turn. Let's make it 3 in a row with 3 different drivers for Team Penske.
Well, nice picks, Chance. Good luck.
Thanks. All right, so our final little topic of the episode is just our final thoughts and our season expectations, what we think, or how we think the season's going to unfold. I mean, just for me to start off, I just want to get it going by now. Like, we've heard a lot of complaints about this new package. I just want to see it in action and get our opinions that way. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think we'll see some good action for a while. I think we'll see some good finishes. The racing as a whole should be better, but on the other hand, we might not see that. It might be some single file crap for a while. But the main thing is I just want to see it. I'm tired of giving these opinions, man. I just want to look at it. I don't know. I'm trying to stay positive.
Well then.
All right, Tyler, what are your thoughts?
Well, obviously I'm thinking the same thing pretty much, really. I just want to stay kind of positive. It's just one of the most unknown kind of seasons we've gone into in years. Maybe since the Gen 6 came around in 2013. So I just really hope that it doesn't suck. We don't want to sit there and watch races where they're just literally going around in a circle, and then that cliche saying for everybody that doesn't like the sport, like, literally comes true if they can't pass a damn car. So, I think we'll see a lot more at the tracks they won't be using the baggage for. I think that it, will raise the bar, and the stakes will be a little bit higher. Guys will race harder. Bristol, Martinsville has even more potential, I think, than normal. So those races could be really good this year. Other than that, I'm just looking forward to another season, and hopefully we can just see good things and not have to bitch a whole lot. We'll try to stay as positive as we can be until we see something otherwise. So, Kane, finish this out.
I'm just going to say it. The end of the season comes around, nobody is going to be happy. Well, they're still going to be upset, like, oh man, this race sucks. Well, what did you expect? I mean, I don't want to have to be bitching about it, but hey, we may just be doing that anyway. So really, who knows? But for now, I'm going to hold judgment and wait till the on-track product is actually seen by everybody when we go to Atlanta. Because as they say, that's the real start of the season. It's the second race because Daytona 500 is obviously a crapshoot. I think it's still going to be the same names up at the front. You think, this package, slowing down horsepower and everybody's going to be so bunched together, you think maybe some underdogs may finally have a chance. No, that's not going to be the case. I think it's still going to be the same guys up front, Harvick, Busch, Truex. It's going to be one of those crazy seasons. And as Larry Mack would say, pull those belts tight one more time, because it's going to be a hell of a season.
Well, I think it's a very positive way to put on it there, Kane. Good job. Well, I think that about does it for this episode of Behind the Wall, presented by Perky Jerky. So, for the Monty HD, for Thermite 917, he's there, getting ready for another season of Thermite Things. For Kane Jr. 88, getting ready for another season of Kane Jr. 88 Things. And he's still recovering from a cold. He'll be taking a large nap with some NyQuil. He'll probably be out like a bear. But he'll go hibernate. And for myself, Provo 43, I don't really know. I just don't know. So this has been a very awkward end to Behind the Wall. But we appreciate you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Son of a bitch.
Now I'm ready. Say it. Say shit.
I don't want to now. The moment's gone.
Be bolsterous. Don't be like, hey guys, there's a show.
Hey YouTube!
Thank you for the first outtake. Fucking
Thank you for
weirdo.
my newest nightmare. Hey, that's like no different than, Krusty the Clown introducing us.
Krusty the King.
Hey kids, how's it going?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
exactly.
that laugh again. Son of a bitch.
See? Exactly.
I think over the next couple of years.
To...
Damn it. I think over the next. God damn it.
There we go. The first Kane interruptions of 2019.
Damn it. 10 bonus points for the winner.
Yes, sure. That's what we've been doing. Negative 20 points for the loser.
The winner gets 10 and everybody else starts 30 in the hole.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit ass logic.
I know.
That's the biggest load of shit I've ever heard.
Like starting the Daytona 500 a lap down.
That would be dumb. They're gonna end up pulling that shit, you know it, a few years from now. They'll start getting so strict with penalties. Be like, oh, you get a penalty, you're gonna start a lap down before the race even starts. Boy.
Yeah.
Okay. So now how we'll do it is we'll just simply reverse it based off of the final point standings from 2008. 2008. I said that.
2008.
Yes, I did. Let's go back to the Behind the Wall fantasy standings in 2008 because that exists.
Well, I really don't know what to say. It's going to be definitely a season of unknown. God, this is so cringe.
What the hell is
I'm
happening?
glad you said it because Jesus Christ.
Ow! God damn it, this stupid spiral thingy. I hit my head on that hangs from my ceiling. God damn it. Oh my God.
This has been Behind the Wall.
I don't think straight when I'm sick.
When you're sick.
When you're I was gonna say there's an exception when you're sick. That's every fucking time.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, help me.
I don't know what the fuck to say there.
2019.
Nah.
Okay.
Welcome to 2019, fuckers.
Bitch.
He was so serious.
That was good. Bitch. That was good. Good timing on that.